everybody. So happy new year. Welcome to 2018, the year of the supernatural God. And we are expecting a lot of great things this year and this season on Faith Talk. So tonight I have with me Latrell King. She is Amazon's best author of How Successful Women Think. Of course, tonight we're going to be talking to Latrell about her story and how did she become or what got her into writing books and how did it all start. Of course, on Faith Talk, it's a place where you realize the world is not a lonely place. It didn't just happen. Everyone went through something to get there. And so we're going to talk to Latrell tonight and find out who she is and everything that she's been through. I hope tonight that you are blessed in some way. Of course, you can ask questions as we go. If you have questions for Latrell, I'll stop and allow you to say what you want to say. All right, so welcome everybody and welcome Latrell.
Thank you.
It's so good to have you here. So Latrell, tell us, you are an author, you have a makeup line, you are a wife, you are a mother, you are all of that good stuff. But tell us, let's just get deep into it. How did it all start? Let's get back to Latrell. In high school, I would have posted about your story. You got to the final grade, which was grade 12, and you did not get to wear a cap and gown.
No.
So quickly, just tell us about that.
It was hard because, I got suspended, they tried to expel me for breaking my cell phone because I felt like it was inappropriate for an administrator to go through my phone. I mean, I'm a child, but policy didn't state that. And so they tried to put me on indefinite suspension because I broke my phone. And I wrote a letter to the council. And I was like, if I go on suspension as a straight A student and I participate in everything in school, I was in a debate club, I was on the soccer team, I was on every team we could have think about. And I'm a straight A student and I break my phone because I was violated. And you're gonna do that to my mother, my single mom, who struggled to put me through school, and you're gonna take that away from me. And so I always was on a mission to prove my administrators wrong because they spoke very negatively into my life and I would never amount to anything. And they said a lot of harsh things in the front of my parents and it did something to me. And I just started to read books. Like God led me into books, inspirational books, where the most richest and wealthiest people in the world don't have education. And I started to look at it as a blessing. And then boom, I'm pregnant.
Wow. So before you get to the pregnant, because you didn't walk up, your mom was a single parent. Where was your father?
So she was a single parent that was married.
Married to who?
My dad. But she was a single parent because we never saw him. And my dad was very abusive to my mom. She was fighting stage 3 cancer at the time. We lived with my uncles. I went to school telling people that my father was dead.
Wow.
Because I associated death with not being there.
Exactly.
And so it was very heart-wrenching to take that little reward away from my mother. I didn't look at it as just graduating. I look at it as my mother struggled to put me through school. I spent many days at home because she couldn't pay my school fee. She borrowed to put us through school.
Wow.
And so for me not to be able to give her the satisfaction of seeing me walk across the stage did something to me. Like they crushed my dreams. Like they crushed the only good thing I held on to in school. And so sometimes when we do things, we create monsters.
Yeah.
You don't know what I'm going through. And people look at me and they say, oh, she's pretty, she have it all together. No, I don't.
Wow. So I want to pause there just 1 minute. To everyone that's coming in, once again, Happy New Year and welcome here. My guest tonight is Latrell King, of course, and we just began. So basically she was telling us about starting off in school and not being able to graduate, with her mom being a single parent, married, but single because her dad was very much absent in her life. So she considered her father dead, not dead literally, but absent. And her mom was battling stage 3 cancer. And of course she overcame that. Correct. Okay, Latrell, so take us through. You became pregnant now at the age of 17.
17. I became pregnant.
Let's talk about life when that happened.
I didn't even know how to tell my mommy.
No.
Thought I was pregnant. Like, okay, I didn't graduate in June. And in August, I just find out that I'm pregnant. And I was like, I ain't about to die this year. So we gonna take her to the doctor.
Right.
And the doctor tell her.
Wow.
So I took it off of me and let the doctor tell her. And I swear to you, I was like this. I ain't move muscle.
Wow.
But it was like,
What was her expression?
she was like, I already knew. I was like, what? So joke's on me.
Jokes
I did
on
all
you.
this lying.
So who were you pregnant for? Someone in school or
No, I was actually pregnant for someone who was 20 at the time.
20 at the time? All right. So kind of like Latrell back in the day was that wild, not wild, but very outgoing,
I was outgoing.
very
I
mature.
was fast.
Fast, way
I was
beyond
fast.
your years.
Mhm.
Right. So now, Latrell, let's get to this part. You carried this baby because you didn't believe in abortion.
Yes, I was always anti-abortion. Always. I just felt in my heart that I don't have the power to give life. I don't have the power to take it. I was always fearful of God. I was always afraid of God. Like, I would be in the club and I would be praying. I was all, I don't know why, but, and I always had a peculiar faith when I was a child.
Your faith.
Yeah, and I would be like, okay, some people can't have a baby. And that's what I would tell myself. I would always tell myself the things that can't happen for other people to keep me going. And so instead of crying about it, I start to find situations where it's worse when I was a child. And I told my mom, I said, you know what, my child could be the cure for AIDS. You know, he could be the prime minister. He could be a prophet.
Wow.
And so after I got my mommy to understand, my daddy was like, oh no, you then didn't graduate high school. And then the reality started to kick back in. Like, although I knew that in my own reality, I could not take care of a child, in my faith reality, I couldn't take one. I couldn't do it.
Wow.
I couldn't live with myself after that.
After an abortion. So that was scratched.
That was scratched.
Right. And so you had a son. And let's talk about this story, because I think this is the part now that really took you into a transition from a teenager straight into womanhood. All right. So at 17, you gave birth, I think you said in the month of March. You gave birth.
I gave birth February 9th.
February 9th, right. And he was healthy and everything. Talk to me about it.
So I had my baby February 9th. And then right after I had my son, 5 weeks later, I started working. Because I always thought about my mom. And I knew she struggled to put us through school. And now when I'm supposed to be of help to her, I'm now another burden on her. So I went to work, and one night when I was coming from work, I had to call my mom because I didn't have a ride. So she had to bring my 6-week-old baby out of the house. And they picked me up. And while we were driving, we were just discussing how much money I would made in tips. And just bam. Just like that. Just like that.
A car accident.
A car accident. Just like that.
Who was injured in the car accident?
So it was me, my mom, and my son. I was knocked unconscious, and the truck fell on its left side onto a wall. And so I fell on my mom. So she said the first thing she said was the baby. So she pushed me off of her, climbed in the back, and tried to find the baby. He was underneath the seat.
Wow.
She didn't have him strapped in because he was so tiny that the seatbelts didn't make much sense because he was so tiny. He was small. And somebody was on their wall and they came over. And this is only her recollection of what happened because I was unconscious. And somebody came over and helped her to get the baby out of the truck and then pull me out because it started to burn. And he said, we need to get your daughter out because you don't know, it could blow up. So they pulled me in the middle of the road. And a police car was passing the same time because they were in chase of an armed robber who hit us. So the armed robbers jumped out of that vehicle. It was a hit and run, and they ran. But the police stopped because they saw that it was a serious accident. And so they took my mom and my son to the hospital, and they left me in the road to wait on the ambulance. So when I came through in the road, the first thing I said is, I need to call my baby daddy. And I gave the lady the number, and I didn't remember anything after that. And then when I awoke in the hospital, everybody just was standing over me with this dreadful look in their face, like the only thing left for them to say is my baby daddy.
Right.
And I keep on asking, where's Kalana? Where's Kalana? Where's Kalana? And everybody just staring at me. And so for like this brief second, I was like, that's it. And so My daddy didn't know how to tell me, so my mommy came and she said, Kehlani died. That's the only thing I had. But the only thing I heard, she used the word died. And they resuscitated him, but he is in surgery now. And everything is touch and go. And I started to get up and try move all of the stuff they had on me. And they tell me to calm down. They did something and put me back to sleep for me to catch myself. And when I wake up, the doctor tells me that my baby is near death. And he is suffering from bleeding in his skull. They don't know where it's coming from. He has a swollen heart right now. He's functioning off of one lung. And his hip is broken. They need to operate. I said, operate and do what? They said they need to drain the blood. So I only 17. So they want me what to do.
Send some hearts across the screen, everyone. At the age of 17 years old, that is a bit much. You know, you decided not to abort the baby. You kept the baby, and just 6 to 5 weeks of his life, it changed forever. I mean, he suffered. Nobody in the car was injured. Just the baby was injured. And, you know, his life changed from normalcy to, you know, other things. And that's a bit much for a 17-year-old to go through. I mean, that's too much for anybody. I mean, just being a mother and you carried that baby for 9 months and you give birth to a healthy child, you know, it's devastating to know now that, you know, I have to live with this, or my child may not make it. And so send some hearts across the screen. You know, a lot of times we see stories, we see success stories, and we don't know, you know, what someone would have endured to get to the success, you know. And so he's still alive. He's still alive. But your life as a 17-year-old mom was not the average one of nursing your baby and just rocking him with lullabies. It was, you said, hospital runs and tubes, feeding to the tubes. And
like, after the surgery, I was like, you can't let them do nothing.
wow.
Because it was so much machines. And I could not cry. I did not cry. For almost a year, I didn't shed a tear. I did not cry, and all I could have said was, my baby's not dead, he's not dead.
Yeah.
Everybody cried around me. I said, he's not dead. And I always kept hope. I said, I cannot cry. I have nothing to cry for. My baby is alive.
Yes.
Somebody's child is dead. And his daddy he was saying, stop that. And I couldn't stop because I knew I had to be strong. If I broke down, I wouldn't have made it.
Yes. Yes.
I wouldn't have made it.
It's okay. You know,
people don't understand. They don't understand. I gave birth to a normal child.
you did.
A normal child, and I tell God I can't take his life, and God do that to me. I couldn't understand how he did that to me. I didn't kill nobody. I ain't do nobody nothing. And I was like, you walk around, they kill people, and they just walking around. Why me? And I started to tell myself, why not me? What made me so special? That people have to go through and I can't go through.
Yeah.
What made me so special? And the only thing I did not do was curse God with my lips. But that hurt me, that grieved me for years and years and years.
So you felt like God put this on you. That is how you felt. You felt that he did this.
I felt like he did this to me. And that he didn't love me. How you could do this to somebody you love? How you could do this to me? I could have had an abortion. How you could put me through so many hospitals? God let me go away with $10 in my pocket. They didn't know what my baby was going to eat. I went away with $10 and it wasn't even cash. It was American Express card I got from school and I never used.
So let me ask you, Latrell, because you're very emotional and I understand. If there's anything you want to say to Latrell, you can send it across the screen and I will read it off to her. Talk to us. Is this the first time really that you are facing this story? I mean, you wrote about it, you have spoken about it, you've written about it and all of that, but is this the first time that you've ever really sat down and shared and really come to grips with what really took place?
This is the first time I tried to take myself back to what I experienced. I always talk about it briefly, but I never linger on it. I always wanted to show my strength, but it is in weakness that people see your true strength.
Yes, yes. This is true. And you know, tears, I always look at tears as a sign of healing, because a lot of times we don't want to cry. But sometimes when we cry, you know, because when I look at the Latrell now, honestly, when I first saw you, I didn't see this story. And it took, like I said, it took Nell to tell me. I was very interested in who you were because I saw your book launch and I was like, she's interesting, I would like to talk to her. And then Nell began to say to me that your story is very deep. If you know her story, and you know, when people look at you, I don't see that. I'm sure that the viewers look at you and they don't see that, because there had to be, you know, you said that you thought that God did it to you, but he kept you. He kept you because that, you know, I've never been through it, but I can only imagine. Well, people have already taken their lives. People, you know, babies did not even survive that. You know, your son did, and it was for a purpose. And you know, you're literally walking this purpose. You're doing it for him now, because one of the things you said to me was that you want your son's story. You want to be his voice. And I think that really touched me. Share that with me. Where was his father, though, Latrell? Through all of this, where was the daddy of your son?
I don't really like to talk about it, simply because when I tell the truth, I'm painted as the person calling him names. But for the most part, he was not there.
He was absent.
He was absent.
That's fair enough.
He was there when he wanted to be, and not when I needed him to be. And when our relationship ended, it was like a part of him left my son.
Right. Let me read some comments to you, Latrell. Lipstick Lips says, "Oh my, I'm in tears, Latrell." Miss Beautiful Braun says, "My heart is soft." Vonnie says, "God favored you and your son." Lipstick Stain Lip says, "You are strong, honey. Let it all out." Vonnie says, "Bent but not broken." And Juju Locke says, "You are strong, girl." Juju is my past guest too, Latrell, and she is a testament of something that you are going through. The only difference is, you know, she lost her baby. And so I know that she knows how you feel, but just in a different way, you know, and it's good. You know, she sat here before and she was emotional. And it's okay. It's okay. We're here for you, and you are inspiring people, because a lot of people do not have the courage to even talk about this even now. One of the things that I know is that grief is a sin and grief is a demon, and that's something that you don't want to live in, and you don't want to live in an arena of pity. You know, because people will be like, "Oh, girl," you know, you don't want anyone to pity you, you know, because even now you've survived. He has survived. And, you know, we spoke the other day and, you know, we talked about the year that we've embarked in. And I honestly believe in the supernatural God. And I honestly believe that the things that the doctor was not able to fix, I believe that God can bring back normalcy to this boy. I believe that. And you said you had a dream that he did. And I saw it too. And so, you know, and this is faith. This is, you know, this is everything. This is how you build your faith. Because amazing enough, if one morning you wake up and he's over you and you didn't lift him out the bed or you didn't help him, your faith is going to be crazier than it is now. And you would realize that God did not allow that or put you through that for nothing. You know, I mean, it is, people say it's so harsh, but it made Latrell. Honestly, it made you. It made you write 2 books. It made you become a go-getter. It made you, I mean, sitting right here right now and inspiring people, it made you. You know, that's what it's all about. You don't have a testimony without a test. And so this is you, and you're beautiful. I mean, you don't look nothing like that story. But how is he now? How is your son now? Because I can just imagine he's a little courageous giant, and he loves mommy.
Yes.
Tell us about him.
He's better now than he was. It was just hospital.
How old is he? Hospitals?
He's 8.
He's 8 years old now. So hospitals and traveling and Did you have the money to deal with all of this?
I didn't have any money. I didn't have any money. There was no insurance to sue because it was a hit and run. They never found nobody.
So let's pause. Who you think provided all
It was
of
only
this?
God.
Only God. So you realize
I
you
sat
didn't
down
need-
one day and as I kept all of his receipts. As I said, one day the enemy have to give me back all my money.
Amen.
And I stopped at $900 and something thousand that me and my mother spent out of our pocket in 8 years.
$900 and something $1,000 that you spent in 8 years for your son.
And I don't know where it came from because I never made that.
Now that's supernatural. Now that is a miracle. 900 and something thousand.
We went away every 6 weeks, and every 6 weeks we paid $800 and something on tickets.
And then you had to pay. You stayed in the hospital, right?
No, we stayed in the hotel.
Right.
It was only one time we ever came in contact with a hospital that provided stay. And then people say, you have insurance. Insurance don't pay for these things.
Wow.
And it's a pre-existing injury. So he didn't even have insurance when this happened. Like, who was going to think about insuring your 3-week-old baby?
3 weeks, right? 3 weeks. So Latrell, they fed him through tubes. Did you ever give breast milk? Did you ever get that experience with him, or?
No. I fed him from a bottle for like 3 months, and then he wouldn't keep anything down. So we had to rush him to the United States. They put in a feeding tube, and we fed him through a machine. And I'm like, my friend's partying, and I gotta learn how to work a machine.
Yeah, you had to be home. So you
Yeah.
became a woman while everyone was enjoying. We just graduate and we're partying. So how is he now? Is his life is he eating with spoons and forks now? Or is it still the same?
He's eating with spoons now, and he only eats parade food. But how he came off of the tube was one day it fell out, and I said, I have no money, so God, what you gonna do?
That's a miracle again. So the tubes
So-
fell out, and he's receiving the food. He's digesting the food
That
and
the doctor
everything.
said that he would never keep down.
That the doctor said that he will never keep down.
Because something is wrong with his digestive system.
That is amazing again.
And I remember she said, I don't have money. I said, I don't have money. She said, what we can do? I said, gonna stay home. She go and carry him to PMH, and I said, I can stay home. Because I didn't tell you why to leave it on. PMH said they can't help me. They don't have a peds, a child gastroenterologist in the Bahamas that deals with tubes. He has to be elected with what money?
So when it dropped out, that was it.
That was it. I didn't have it. I didn't have no fight, no strategic fight left
Wow.
to raise the money to go.
So he's not walking. You lift him. You lift him for everything he has to do. Wow. And I know that. What about his speech?
He doesn't talk.
He does not talk, but he can understand you.
He understands.
He understands you.
He functions like a 8-month-old baby trapped in an 8-year-old's body.
He functions as an 8-month trapped in an 8-year. I understand. That's that. I know those kind of kids. All right. So he's back.
So he'd make noises like when kids before they talk.
Yeah.
He'd make noises.
It's okay. I still believe. I mean, we're believing. You and I. We talked about it, and we're believing that God is going to do something supernatural. And one day, what's his name again? Kalano is going to wake up over you and smile and say, Mommy, here I am. It's only God can do things like that. And in this year, it is promised that God will do the supernatural, mind-blowing things. And the only thing you'll be able to say is, God, I know that this is you. Because somebody to have a mind of an 8-month-old trapped in an 8-year-old body, and to have the vocabulary just supernaturally appear, you know that it's only God. So you got over that phase, and that was a phase of your life that you needed strength, and your strength came from God, and you realized that it was God that gave you the strength. And then I guess you talked about your life being in a stint of abusive relationship. Did that happened after all of this?
Yes, that happened. That happened while my baby was sick. I went for my baby daddy one day, and I went to drop off my child, and a lady was there, and he abused me with my sick child, our sick child, in my hand.
Mentally or physically?
Physically.
Physical abuse. And You were not. You were separated now, though.
No, we was together.
You were together, but another female was there. So how did you leave that? Did you leave after that, or did you stay?
No, I didn't leave after that. I stayed.
Stayed.
I didn't leave after that. And there was a time we was having a conversation, and I don't know, he was just schizo.
What made you stay, Latrell? Because I want you to give some advice to people that are watching now. What made you stay?
So I had self-esteem issues because, and I didn't always, I was always an independent person. I was always outspoken, and I always was confident. And so being in a relationship with him, he verbally abused me before he actually physically abused me. Mm-hmm. So he'd say things like, "Oh, ain't nobody want you, you ain't nobody, or you ain't gonna never amount to nothing, you won't even graduate high school." Like he would, your daddy don't even check for you. He would throw things that I was going through in my life against me. And then repeatedly hearing that day after day after day after day, I started to think, maybe I'm not pretty, maybe I deserve the things that I went through. Like he broke me verbally first before he started to hit me. And I think that and I was scared. With this, I have a sick child now for him. Like, what am I gonna do? Other person I have is my mommy. And I stayed too because I wanted the family portion of it to work. I came from a dysfunctional family, and I felt like babies, like my child, need love on both sides. Yeah. So it was almost like I was punishing myself for the outlook I think my child would have. And I think a lot of women stay in abusive relationships because they're thinking about, okay, I want a nuclear family. I didn't grow up in a nuclear family, and I have to give my child this, and I have to give my child that. You're going to die trying to give your child those things.
That's right.
You're going to die. Right. And it was not until a lady told me, that man is going to kill you. A prophet told me that. He's going to kill you, and he's going to give you HIV if you don't leave him.
Wow.
And I never went back. And he followed me and followed me and followed me. And he used to sit outside my house and stalk me. And I said, God, you have to send me somewhere. I said, God, send me in the police force, please. Because I was afraid. And people put fear in you, and nobody understands. You don't understand him. And you're telling people you don't understand him. Listen, he only crazy to you. He ain't crazy to nobody else.
Other than
me.
So you tell people, and only you see him as crazy.
Yeah. But I'm telling women, that's how women feel.
Yes.
Because they're telling my sister, my brother, and I'm telling people, I'm trying to get help from my friends. I tell you don't understand, Nate. And I'm telling you, I'm scared to go because he stalks me. And they're telling you delusional, that man ain't do nothing. You know, you don't know that man. And that's how people feel. They're saying to their family, you don't know this man. And they don't feel like they have the courage and the strength to rise up against them. They don't have any support system. And I didn't have any support system to rise up against. I didn't have nobody to tell me I was beautiful. They didn't teach me in school that men beat women, and they didn't teach me that men is cheat on you, and they didn't teach me about STDs. They didn't teach me the things I needed to know in school. Nobody taught me about self-esteem. And so I was battling a losing battle. I was fighting a losing battle because nobody taught me what I needed to know to survive. I had to learn. Experience had to teach me. And I tell my cousins every day, I go through so you don't have to. I went through what I went through so another woman don't have to be abused. You are a child of God, and nothing that rises up against you shall kill you out of your season.
Yes, amen.
And I had to find God. Or he would have drive me crazy.
Wow.
I had my son to live for, and yes, we want the best for our kids, we do. But are we going to sacrifice what God has for us and die in those relationships?
That's true.
Are you going to die in that relationship? And it is not worth it. If a man puts his hand on you, run.
He will never stop. I learned that. I learned that, because I've suffered abuse as well, and they will say sorry, and then let's talk about it. Yeah, and then,
this is the script.
Go ahead.
This is how you know you are a victim.
This is how you know you are a victim. Go ahead.
Baby, I never hit no woman. I don't know. I love you so much. I love you so much. I hit you because I love you. And no, you don't understand. You're the only woman. No, you lying. If you love me so much, you would never hurt me.
Oh, wow.
And I think that women have defined love as hate and abuse.
This is true.
We have it twisted. The world has taught us that hate is love.
That is
and
true,
love is hate.
That is true.
And I didn't understand the true virtue of love because why? I watched my mommy. I watched my mommy suffer in abuse for 15 years. I watched my daddy hit my mommy for 15 years. I watched my daddy hit a sweetheart for 15 years.
Cycle.
As a cycle. And then you want to come and hit me. And my mommy kept preaching to me. From she saw him, she said, that is not, no. And guess what? I had to learn. But guess what I tell my cousins them? You living in a day and age that you may not be as lucky as me.
That's right. To get out.
To get out. We are drawing nigh to the end of the world. They are on a serious assignment to take lives. The enemy is on an assignment to take lives.
That is true.
What I lived through, you could die in. Get out. What I survived, you may be meant to die in.
That is true.
You don't take for granted. I've been in a relationship for 5 years. 5 years, God kept me. 5 years. And God sent me here to keep you. Before that time has come, you may not live to see 5 years. And I tell my cousin, oh, it can get better, blah, blah, blah. Listen, honey, I went through, so you don't have to. My mommy tell me a word to the wise is sufficient.
That's right.
She been through it for 15 years. 15 years, that's all I knew.
That's right.
We grow up in dysfunctional families, and that's what we know love is. And then we go searching for love, and then we accept anything.
That's it right there.
Anything.
That's it right there.
Listen, you have to love yourself. No one can love you if you don't love yourself. If you don't know how to love yourself, you can never know the real interpretation of love. Love comes from within.
So when you left him was the time that you found a relationship with God.
Mm-hmm. I was always in and out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, God is calling you before you want to be called.
This is true.
So God was calling me for a long time. And it was not until I got broken. God will take everything from you. If you don't know, He will take everything from you. He will strip you dry. And that's why that's the place I was script.
Wow. So everybody that's here tonight, I mean, Latrell is giving us a mouthful. I'm sitting on the chair with her, and I know exactly what she's talking about. You know, we there are some women that feel as if they cannot go without a man on their side. And I think that there is an error. That is an error, and that is an issue. Because the minute you believe that you have to have a man on your side, you have a problem. And then if you have to get the approval of a man, that's a problem. I think for me, with my testimony, I believe that I did not understand. People say when you have a child, you realize what true love is. That's halfway. I think that you know what true love is when you understand what God is, like what He is, you know, because He is love. And, you know, He shows you love, and in His word, He teaches you how you should be loved. You understand what I'm saying? God doesn't have love to hit you and abuse you and to scar you with words, because I always said during my relationships that the words, to this day, I don't remember the beatings as much as I could remember the words. I do not remember the slaps and the hits and the scars and the bruises, but I could remember every word. You know, and that's a mental scar, and that is something that you have to heal from. And then you have to get to a place where you can look at an individual and say, you know what, I forgive you. You know, it is not, you're not healed until you can forgive, you know. You realize that. Because it doesn't make sense you holding a grudge against the individual. Because when I look at it, Latrell, too, I got to a place where I understood that the man did to me what I allowed him to do to me. So you realize that. You have to get to a place where you take responsibility for your actions. Because you will sit down and you be like, man, he treat me like this. No, you let him treat you like that. You know what I mean? But, you know, why go through it? You know, women, you know, Latrell is saying it, as soon as you identify, because it starts off with the words, the name calling, and then they brush it off by saying, I didn't mean it like that. And then it starts off to other things, and then, oh my God, and then it goes. So you got out of that and you found a relationship with God. And so where was Latrell now after all of that, the relationship?
So I was entering and I just was finding God. And in my finding God, my husband found me.
Your husband found you. How long was it before you decided to, say, get back into a relationship?
Well, I didn't decide to get back into a relationship. It actually just started with us talking as friends, and he was facing similar situations within his relationship that I was facing. And it just started like as an exchange of information. And then one day I invited him to my church, and he came. And the pastor had a whole sermon on us.
Wow.
Saying the reason why y'all feel the way y'all feel and stand right on the side is because the seasons y'all are in has ended. And God is separating you from the persons that you're bound to.
Wow.
And so my encounter was real. I wasn't looking for a relationship.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Because did you trust a man again? I mean,
No.
did you have?
No, I didn't trust men.
I think that's how I felt too. When I got out of everything, I felt as if
I almost hated men.
Yeah, you find this wall. You put this wall up, and because like I shared with the my viewers before, when my husband came to me or when we met, it was like there was this wall. And I remember one day he said to me, he was like, I don't know what you've been through, because I never shared with him that there was situations where, it was abuse mentally or physically. He said, I don't know what you've been through, but if you believe I can put my hand on you, I can leave first.
I had a similar situation. He told me that too.
Yeah, because you're scarred, and then you don't know how to react, and you believe as if everyone is coming to do the same thing. You know what I mean? But there are genuine people out there that will come to love you. But like I say, not until you get a relationship with God, you will understand, what love really is. People are still talking. Juju Locke says that's so true. An abuser is only brave toward his victim. Everyone else, the abuser, is a chicken. That is so true. That is very, very true. People are saying, come on, Latrell. Beauty, I am pretty dope says it never gets better. That is true. That is so true. Lady A. Minnis Griffith says self-love is the greatest love. That is absolutely true. And I believe a lot of women today, we settle.
We settle. We don't love ourselves.
We settle. And of course, we're not prepared to wait. Because within waiting, there is a reason, there is a purpose behind everything in your wait. A lot of times you are so rushy and you get into these marriages or things or these unions and you find yourself fighting. And you're fighting because it wasn't supposed to be.
The problem is we don't date.
And that too. What do you consider dating, Latrell?
Talk to a bunch of people.
Mm-hmm.
Don't sleep with none.
Mm-hmm.
And find out everything that you need to know that is important to you. You will not find the perfect person, but you will find all of the traits that you need in one person. See, that's where we go wrong. You say, oh, he's by me roses and he's open the door and he's comes in movies. But you need loyalty. You need stability. You need trust. These are the stuff that you need. And when you realize that they don't have the characteristics that you need, it's too late. Because you don't give them your mind, your body, and your soul. And you have a soul tie. You can't figure out why you can't get out.
Soul tie. Exchange of spirits and all of that stuff.
And you find out after 6 months, you don't even really like him. Because you did not date him. And I find that after 6 months is the period where they begin to unmask who they really are.
That's the truth, because you cannot pretend.
Forever.
That's true.
But the problem is, we say, oh, I like you too. You pretty, oh, you handsome. And tomorrow we dating. We's a couple, you own me.
And then next week I love you.
How? What do you love about me?
That's right.
Do you know me when I'm angry? Do you know me when I'm hurt? Can you take me when I'm blabbering all night? You don't know anything about this person. You didn't even know he is hit woman. You didn't even do your research. The Bible says study to show yourself approved. Why you investigate his Facebook? You would have known that he hit somebody long time. But then we don't want to wait. And the world has taught us differently. We watch on Lifetime. Oh, they just went on 3 dates and they kissed and they had lived happily ever after. Fairy tale. They didn't tell me that the movies are fairy tales. Nobody told me these
Nobody
things.
told you that. You had to. You learn as you learn as you go.
I go. They teach me about the world map.
Yeah.
But you should have teach me about self-dignity and self-pride and how to carry myself as a woman and how not to devalue myself as a woman. And you should have teach me that my price is far above rubies. Why you didn't preach scripture into me when I was growing up? You want to tell me put on makeup when I jack up inside and jack right up?
That is so true.
You didn't teach me how to survive. No one taught me to survive. God taught me that. The Bible taught me that. Taught me that people are evil.
Wow. So Latrell, your son, Kalani, correct? Kalano.
You can call him Lano.
Lano is not your husband's child.
No.
So how was the transitioning with your husband?
Well, actually, when we started dating, I don't tell anybody I have a sick child. Nobody. It's not a conversation that I have right away. Mm-hmm. It would be like 5 months down the line, like, you have a sick child? For sure. Never knew that. Like, you don't show it. So he didn't know until he started to come by me and pick me up. And he saw my child. He was like, "Who that? This is my baby." And he said, "What happened to him?" And that's how he found out. And then when we both were police, so when he came over and my mom had to go away or anything, he would mind my child. And we were only dating like 5 months into the relationship, he was minding my child. And I said, "This is the husband, the person I want to marry, because he doesn't know my child." And he would be like, "No, you don't report sick. I off today. I will keep it." And I'm like,
wow.
"Nigga, you best not kill my child."
I know. I know. Are you hearing this, everyone? 5 months into dating, he was willing to keep Lano. I mean, even in his condition, he was willing to keep him.
I would go to the shop and he would be like, "You want me to come there so you wouldn't have to tote him?" Because he knew what I had to go through just to carry him to the shop. And I had to hold him or put him in a push and try to push the trolley. So he would be like, "I'll come now so your mom could go to the shop." And he always kept he started to keep my child more than his daddy did. And he never asked me, "Where's his daddy?"
Wow.
So he never tried to give accountability to the person where it lied.
Right.
And he never bad-mouthed him. He didn't even ask about him for a very long time. Until one day he just finally asked, what happened to his daddy. But actually he did not die. His daddy found him.
Okay. Lano's father found him. Because he realized now somebody else was wiggling in there. It always happens, but
always happens.
Yeah. But what inspired you now to write these books? You have 2 books, Latrell. You have How Successful Women Think, and I was doing some research on you, and I saw that you wrote a book called A Mother's Tragedy or something. Tell us about it. What inspired you? When did you begin to write?
So what happened was I could not get anybody. But I never wanted to talk about it because, like you asked me, if this is the first time I've ever talked about it. Yes, it's the first time I've ever really gone back and lived through what I've been through. And so I started to write. Someone told me before, if you can't find the words to say, just write it down. And so I just casually wrote how I was feeling, like how I wish my life was, different parts. And that's why my book is it's not chronological. It doesn't have any order. It was just what I was experiencing, things that I thought, how I felt, the world treated me because I had a special child. And one day I watched a movie called Miracle Run, and I remember I watched it when I was a teenager, and this is why this happened to me. And I figured that out.
Yes.
I figured that out years later. I had watched a movie when I was 16 called Miracle Run, and this lady, she had 2 disabled children. They were autistic. She couldn't find a school. She didn't have any money. They kicked them out of school because they was abnormal. No one could teach them. So she homeschooled them, and she did everything she could have done for her kids. And I said, if I ever have a child like that, I would do that. And that is why I was like, you have to be so careful.
Wow,
what you say.
Yes, we spoke about that too.
In your mind.
Yes, in your mind, you said that just watching that movie.
And that's why you cannot watch it, and everything you become emotionally attached.
That's the truth. Wow.
And I was like, I asked for this subconsciously. Because I said, if I had a child like that, I would do what she did. Don't say if you had a child like me, because God make you and he has a sense of humor.
To see how you would handle it now, because you said you would have, wow.
And so I said I would do everything I have to do while I am alive to give my child a voice, because that is what she did. She gave her kids a voice. She fought against the proposed systems and the regulations. And so I decided that I would write a book and I would tell his story to the world. Yes. Because he doesn't have a voice. Nobody knows about Kelano. And if devil or God or whoever saw it fit to do this to my child, the world will know him. His life will be a testimony to others. And my pastor told me one time ago, Apostle Valentino Will himself, what we go through is not for us, it's for somebody else. And so I wrote this book for somebody else, not for me, to make somebody else stronger,
but this is
to
true.
Inspire.
This is true.
To uplift, to motivate. So that's why I wrote the book. And he was like, use your pain to encourage. Don't drown in it. That's why I wrote the book. And I said, I want to have a Lifetime movie like that lady. And so someone said, well, in order to have a movie, you have to write a book. So I never really wanted to write a book. I wanted to have a Lifetime movie. And I followed the process to get there.
Wow. That is amazing. I always tell people that, everything that you go through, it is not, someone said that they actually watched that movie as well. You don't go through things for yourself. And it's amazing that God knows who we can trust with a particular journey. I was sharing just quickly, briefly with my stylist the other day that, I questioned why I went through infertility. But I realized that I went through it for other women.
Yes.
Because God knew that I would have the courage to come out and I would talk about it. I would be bold. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. There are a lot of people who are still, like I say, in this corner. And they've not healed from it. But, I found it to be beautiful. Even though I had to go through much. But I thought it was for other people, People don't know the process, where to start, how do I get there, what are the tools, what are the remedy, and you basically saying it now. You've given everyone the tools, So that is so powerful to me, and that is purpose. And I don't believe that this is the end for Latrell and Nano. I believe that someone's going to pick up the book, and someone's going to read the story, and someone's going to want to write that. Because, I don't know, I haven't read the book as yet. I intend to read the book. But it is amazing if the right person, and you want a movie. So you're speaking it, and you said that you want to meet Tyler Perry.
Yeah, I'm going to meet him this year.
You sure will meet Tyler Perry.
I will meet him this year.
You sure will meet Tyler Perry, if that's what you want.
That's what I want.
Latrell is also now doing a stage play for her book, How Successful Women Think. Quickly, Latrell, tell us just a little bit about this book. We're winding down. Tell us a little bit about this book.
I wrote this book because I realized that most of my battles happened in my mind first. Before they even manifested themselves, I was defeated in my mind before I was actually defeated in the natural. Mm-hmm. And so I wrote this book to help people to overcome in their mind and in their talking, their speaking. And I realized that everything I said, the Lord just was bringing it to pass. And I was like, you know what? I have supernatural powers in my mouth or something. And then I realized when people speak against me, that would come to pass too. And I was like, so you mean that Tyler Perry them accomplished all this because they spoke it?
That is right. Faith.
And so I targeted the mind, and then I targeted the lips, because you could be positive in your mind and you attacking your destiny with your lips.
That's powerful. That is true.
And it could be vice versa. And I'm like, you can't figure out why you can't get a job, why you can't get a host, why nothing working for you, and everybody around you speaking negative in your life, but you refuse to speak over your destiny. You refuse to open your mouth. You refuse to cancel what is sent up in the atmosphere. And so I wrote this book on a biblical aspect as well to help women. Because guess what? Your mind telling you to stay in those abusive relationships. It's your mind at the end. It says, Proverbs 4:23, more than anything, protect your mind, because life flows from it.
Yes.
That is what the Bible tells you to do. He said, your tongue is powerful.
It is.
Life and death is in the power of the tongue. And I took that literal. And it said, as a man thinketh, so is he. And I found scriptures in the Bible to support what I said. And every time I said something, I said, God, you said.
That's right.
Life and death is in the power of the tongue.
This is right. This is right.
You said, as a man thinketh, so is he.
This is right.
So if I think that I am wealthy, if I think that I'm beautiful, if I think that I'm confident, if I think that I'm an overcomer, and if I think that I'm a child of the king, then I am. I am what I say that I am.
That's right.
I am not what you say that I am. And still to this day, when people tell me something that I am not, you tell them that no, that I am what he says that I am. Mind over matter, and that's what's on my book. Wow. On my second edition, what she typed just now, is Mind Over Matter.
Wow.
And we let people talk down to us and talk down to us and talk down to us, and we don't speak up.
Wow.
So I wrote this book on an assignment to deal with women, so that they would rise up in 2018.
Oh my God.
And you don't know that. Guess what? Listen, the Lord's so prophetic. Mm-hmm. I released my workbook today.
Your workbook. Yes, I saw it. I was actually supposed to post that. You released the workbook today.
Because people's like, you're telling me to change my mind, but you're not telling me how.
So you release all the tools, the workbook, how to do it, how to get there.
How to get there. Like how to find your purpose, how to break it down. I break it down into simple steps. What do you like? Then I say, what do you think that you're supposed to do? What did your pain do to you? And I help you to create a purpose and a mission statement for yourself.
Wow. Everybody, so where could we find that?
So the workbook is on Amazon to be available in 72 hours.
Wow, Amazon, my God.
So it's Because what I really want to do is I want to go into the schools and I want to teach 12th graders before they come out the things that you need to know to survive. And in order for me to get this into the schools, I need to create a workbook that has actionable steps for them to follow. So I really want to get into the schools and deal with.
But that's the best place. That's the best place. That's the foundation.
They are the future.
Yes, and you know they need to know these things before they step out into the real world and to begin to, well, experimenting. Let's call it like that, because you know at that age, the 11th grade, 12th grade, we in that experimental mind. Anyone can come around if you're not strong enough. Persuasion, you know, you dealing with all of this and so
pressure.
you
and I spoke about that in school. I spoke about being alone, and I was a loner and I couldn't fit in nowhere. You don't need to fit in when you were born to stand out. You don't need to fit in.
That's right.
And if your child is different, let them embrace their different.
That's
don't
right.
make them feel belittled because they're different.
That's right.
They're different because that's who God called you to be.
Amen.
He didn't call you to fit in.
That is right.
Why do you want to fit in?
That is right.
Listen,
that is right.
I am happy I didn't graduate. That put me on the list of the elite people who are going to be rich. Tyler Perry slept in his car.
That's right. You see.
Oprah slept in her car.
But look at Oprah, and Oprah's life was
Robert Kiyosaki, who was a multi-millionaire, slept in his car, never finished school. All of these people, all of the rich people read their stories.
So why can't you?
Why can't I? I start off right.
Wow.
I start off right.
You do.
I almost leave my car, but I didn't.
You didn't, but Latrell, let me tell you the last thing before we close, because we're about to close, and this is a funny part of Latrell. As I got to know her, you know, working up to the time of coming on the show and talking with her, I started to follow her just to get a feel of who she really was. And one night we were talking, and I was telling her about my faith, and she was like, "Oh, my faith's so crazy. I don't know why my mommy never named me Faith." Because I told her my daughter's name is Skylar Faith. And so she's like, you know what? Today, my name is Faith. I'm changing my own name. And so she went on Facebook and she changed her name from, I think it was Latrell. I think it was Latrell. And it went to Faith King. So I woke up the next morning and the first thing I saw on my timeline was Faith King. And she posted a Bible scripture, a scripture out of the Bible. And so I WhatsApped her and I said, well, you go, girl. Because, you know, if you say that's who you are, then that's who you are. And shortly thereafter, Faith King decided that she was going to Black Friday with nothing. Just a bag. And she was going to get everything she wanted to get on this trip because she was going on faith. So she really challenged. She challenged God and she put him to the test. And she survived that Black Friday. I mean, listen, I don't know where they slept.
I slept in my car.
Oh, but they was fresh enough and their makeup was on like every day.
For one night.
Oh my God. And they hit all the places for the sales. But they come back with stuff.
But the funny thing is, she didn't know that I wanted to change my name. And I had my cousin, a couple people helping me. And they keep coming up with these names. They told me call myself Paris, call myself Pink, all type things. And I said, God, I want you to change my name.
Yes.
And I couldn't figure out what name best suit what I have been through. And when she was like, girl, you have some serious faith. And she started to I said, you know what? That's my name.
That's your name.
So she was the reason that I have this name now.
Wow.
And you want to know how I survived? Faith.
That's right.
When I didn't have no money, I didn't have no food. And me and we had to sacrifice just for my child to eat. And look in the ceiling together and hold hands. It was only my faith.
That's right.
It wasn't nothing else. My faith in God was what kept me for all of these years. When I didn't have nothing, it was faith. And I was like, what more fitting thing to call myself than faith?
And that's who you are.
I live it.
But that is who you are. You speak everything.
Listen,
you all have to follow. No, they don't know.
I have so much faith. I go into Los Angeles and I will go to every movie outlet with my little best friend, Nell. We can go to every movie outlet and I would leave my CD. That's how much of faith I have. I give away my books for free because I feel that I could give Tyler Perry Stylist my book or Oprah Winfrey.
You don't know who
I don't know who I'm putting my book in.
That is so true.
That's how much faith I have.
That's right.
If God tell me stand in the bank and somebody bring me I stand in the bank for two days, you know, I'm going to stand right there.
Wow.
Don't give me a word from God because I'm going to push his hand. All you need is faith. They say faith as small as a mustard seed can move mountains. You know what I could do with this?
Wow.
I gone away with the $10, and on this, I went away with the $10, and I had faith, and I went on a fast, and I said, God, you have to provide. God told me call my daddy. I said, you won't tell me call my daddy. I said, I don't know who you talking to, God, but you won't tell me call my cheap daddy. He don't give me $5, told me call him for $500. I come back with $500 and he asked me, what is the account number?
Wow.
God's hand moved because of my faith.
Faith.
In him.
Faith.
Not because he wanted to bless me, because God wants to bless everybody. But our faith have to come to a level in him that our only trust is in him. And then he will bless us.
Wow.
Because he wants to bring you to total dependency on God.
That is, and see that, let's just go back quickly to the part where I think I was talking to you. We were talking the other night back on Faith Again, and you said to me that you were willing to go hungry or to fast until God answered your sons, or to get your son together.
I told God I would not eat until he make my son walk. I said, God, do you want me to die?
But you realized that.
And someone had to tell me, you cannot move the hand of God unless he wants it to.
That's right. That's right.
You would die.
You would die because you would literally.
He said, this is God sending your ship.
Yeah.
And he's going to send plenty more before he lets you die.
That's
To let
right.
you know that nothing before his time.
You have to go. You have
In
to
God's
go through this.
timing.
You have to go through this. And your story is just simply beautiful, Latrell. I mean, this is amazing. Listen, you all got to follow Latrell on Facebook. Facebook is a place Latrell rants a lot. Good rants, okay? If you are feeling down and you go to Latrell's page, trust me, she's telling you what you can do. Everything that she do, everything that she speaks. I see she posted a whole list of places she'll be going to in 2018. And if you follow her, you can notice that she will.
I will
because
go.
I actually experienced it. Like I say, the Black Friday thing, I saw her say she was going and she went. And I don't know, they came back with everything. So, and it was an amazing session with her, and she went live everywhere she went with her and a friend of hers or a cousin of hers. They just went on this journey and they were giving you tips and all of that stuff. So she has this list of places that she will be going. And that is faith, and that is crazy faith. That is the faith that God expects of you. That is the kind of faith that God wants you to have. And that is all he needs. If you give God that faith, he will do the rest for you. You don't have to do anything else. And that is what's so beautiful about Faith Talk. That's what's so beautiful about faith. I've been through it. You're living it. I am still living it. And these scriptures always give it to you because, Mark 11:24 is always mine. I love to pray. And I believe that everything that I pray for, I already have it. And I believe that I already have it. And that was my entire journey with Skylar, going through the infertility journey. And I have her. I have her now.
That's what, and you're the reason why I didn't kill my baby.
Wow.
Because I thought about people who can't have one. You want to take a life that somebody can't have.
You see.
Mm-hmm.
You see how the
So I can
stories.
understand.
You see what I'm saying?
The reason
And then you
behind
have, if somebody's watching today and you're contemplating abortion, don't do it. There's so many people wanting to have a child, and a child is a blessing. And like Latrell says, she didn't abort the baby because, like she told her mom, he could be the prime minister, he could be a prophet, he could be somebody great. Why kill him? Why do that to him? And I think that is amazing. And Latrell, your story is amazing. Of course, I'll be posting pictures at the end of the session. I will tag Latrell, all of her Instagram pages and Twitter, if she's on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Latrell is also a motivational speaker. If anyone is hearing her and you would want her to come on your show or you would want to talk to her more, make sure she's a very nice lady. Just DM her. She's open and she's very excited to share her story. She's not in the corner where I can't do it. She's willing to share her story. So just before we close, I'll just read a few comments because, of course, I always give my viewers the time to share. Everyone is saying, preach Latrell. Latrell, you really preached today. Lady Menace says, great initiative. Please go and encourage our youths. Lipstick stained lips says, stand out. Lady 242 says, that's right. She says, faith. Yes, been speaking about that all week. Hey, quickly, everyone, join us back, and we are just wrapping up. Of course, if you've been with me in season 1 of Faith Talk, you actually know what just happened. I don't have to tell you what just happened. And of course, this is the year of the supernatural. I believe that Instagram is going to give me more time. And so with you and me coming in agreement, it shall be done. There, go give Kiki more time. I honestly believe that Instagram will do it for me. I have the faith to believe that because my session is supposed to be 1 hour. My team told me 1 hour. I am shutting off now because we promised that it would be 1 hour. But of course, this session with Latrell was it's more than 1 hour. We can go hours in talking, but of course you need to find her book. It's also on Amazon, How Successful Women Think. What about a Mother's Tragedy?
It's on Amazon.
It's on Amazon as well.
It's on Barnes and Noble. It's on Books A Million. It's in Logos Bookstore.
Wow. And Amazon's bestseller. She's number one now.
But I don't know what I am today. But I hit number one for like a week.
You were number one for a week.
And then I stayed in the top 100 for the last month.
And the top 100 for the last month. So do you see yourself on the cover of 100 Black, the most influential women? Do you see yourself there?
I do.
I believe
I'm
that.
going to receive an Oscar award.
I believe that. I believe that. And Latrell, this is serious, you know. I always said from a child, or when I found myself as a teenager, that I would make it to Hollywood. I honestly believe that.
Listen, I want to see. I told my son last year, I don't know if he understand me, but I said, we're going to see our name in light skin on him, and we're going to watch your movie. You're not going to leave this earth till you watch your movie.
Amen.
And I told my mom the same thing. God can't take you now. He got to add years onto you like he did. There's a guy in the Bible.
Yes.
Because he's going to have to see the world.
That's right.
He suffered the world with me, and she's going to have to see it.
And I believe that. She will.
I believe that.
Oh boy, she will. Wow. This was an awesome session with Latrell, everybody. I hope that you enjoyed it. We kicked off season 2 with a bang. Once again, God strategically placed these people in my way to bring them on. And I told you that God is up to something big. God is the executive producer of Faith Talk. Of course, I always share that I would have never done this. I never in my wildest dreams, I believe that I would be speaking in the front of people every week and just sharing stories or even my story. But this is what it is all about, coming on to show you that the world is not a lonely place. You may believe that you're going through something, somebody else have it worse somewhere, and they are surviving. So do not allow, your downs to conform you. Do not let it come in and just you believe that the world is over. You need to tap into that and say, you know what, I am going to defeat this giant. And that is what I did. That is what Latrell did. And many others that was on Faith Talk already, they defeated giants. And that's the beauty of the show. That's the beauty of life. And so once again, I want to thank Latrell. Of course, I want to thank my team who is back here with me. We have a lot of exciting things, me and the team, coming up. I am not going to expose it now. I got to keep my mouth hush because everything is not to be spoken of until God is ready to let it out. But I want to thank Christoph, my videographer, and he produces all of my flyers. Make sure to check his page out at Church Boy Photography, Christoph_roll. My hair, if you love my hair, this is Nell. She does my hair every week and keeps me beautiful. And you can follow her on Instagram as well. At First Stylist Nell. I'm going to tag her, and she's Nell Oliver on Facebook. All of my photos, if you love them, they are Ry_G. Make sure to follow him. Ry_G_. But I'm going to be tagging him. That's my photographer. My makeup artist, Cody, at Glow and Glamour. Of course, she glowed us. Latrell, you got to turn and you got to show the glow. Oh, before we go, Latrell also has a makeup line. I thought it's named Be Vogue.
Be Vogue.
Be Vogue. She's bringing out her lipstick line, right? Amazing. You got to follow this woman. She want to take over the world. I think. But anyway, she's all of that, and she loves to do makeup as well. So make sure to follow her and be inspired. Make sure to DM her if you want to know more. But it was a pleasure having you here tonight. Anybody else? Oh, how could I forget? Before. Also, Stefan is here in the DM. This is powerful. He is here. He made it here. He was sharing his testimony with me too about why he came late. But my outfit, if you love my outfit tonight, I'll post a picture. Make sure to check out LSD Couture, please, on Robinson Road. I'll be tagging her in there. All of the jewelry, everything came from her. She has a beautiful store, and she also sews. You're going to see all of this work coming out right here in season 2 of Faith Talk. So tonight, if you were blessed, make sure when I post a picture, put a comment underneath there. Let Latrell hear what you are saying, all right? So God bless everybody, and thank you for joining us here tonight. Next week, don't forget, I got somebody else coming on, a beautiful young lady just like Latrell with a powerful story. So don't forget, 8 p.m. right here next week. God bless.